Welcome back guys to another Friday the 13th movie review, and this time we're going to review Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives, or Jason Lives Friday the 13th Part 6 wherever you're from. This one's directed by Thom McLoughlin, who interestingly enough directed One Dark Night from 1982. That was a very eerie horror movie, and he also directed an underrated horror movie in my opinion, and that is Sometimes They Come Back from 1991. That was a TV movie, and that was one of the first in a string of TV movies that this guy directed since Friday the 13th Part 6. It's strange because he's a great horror director, yet he's directed nothing much since then, just all TV movies. So after trying to decide what to do with the Jason character from Part 5, obviously Jason wasn't the killer in Part 5, they decided to make him a living dead zombie. He was that in Parts 2, 3 and 4, but he could still be hurt in those first 3 movies when he came back in Part 2. But in this one, he's an unstoppable force of nature. He does get hit, shot, stabbed in this movie, but he doesn't feel any pain, and I like the introduction to how he came back. It was a little bit lazy in the writing with the lightning bolt coming down, and that's how Jason comes back to life. There was other parts to it, but that was the main thing that made him come back. It was a little bit lazy for me, but it was 1980s, we can forgive it for that. I think it was a great opening to the movie. It was very similar to the dream sequence from Part 5, but they upped the ante in this one. I loved the wind, I loved the rain, and I just loved the introduction to Tommy's character again in this one, played by Mathews. And after that epic opening, we get a nice reference to the 007 movies with Jason coming to the middle of the screen and the 007 intro. The score was the best it's ever been. The score was always very similar from parts 1 to part 6, but after every installment they added a little bit. I can't really explain it, but they added a little bit to the score, and in this one, this is when the score got to its best. The score reminded me of an old YouTuber, Mizpol. Hello Mizpol if you're watching. He had this intro for his videos all the time, and it was just an epic intro, and a great intro to use for your YouTube channel. Near the start of the movie, we've got a young Tony Goldwyn in the film from Ghost, and he's with his girlfriend, and then Jason comes and kills the both of them. I think that's a great introduction to what Jason's all about in this one. He's non-stop, he's basically crazy, and I like the way they showed that in that scene. The acting in this film was great, but it was also over the top. I think that Thom Mathews played Tommy perfectly. He did play him over the top, but that's what I liked about Tommy. He was a charismatic character. He was completely different to the Thom that we had in Friday the 13th A New Beginning. This one was just fantastic. It was so memorable. If you watch all the Friday the 13th movies and think back to all the movies, his performance in this film was one of the standouts in the whole entire franchise. The sheriff and his daughter Megan, those two were great in this film as well. The sheriff is a little bit stupid, but intentionally stupid for the storyline. But although he was a bit silly with his decisions, he was very passionate about his job and passionate about his daughter. And Megan, again, she wasn't your typical final girl. One thing I do hate about final girls, they're always a little bit doom and gloom and moany, and you just kind of hate them, to be honest. But she was great, she was funny, she was charismatic as well, and she was a bit of a hard ass. What I found very interesting was having actual children at the camp this time, because it was usually all the late teens who were played by 30-year-olds, but it was good to have children there. And then when Jason arrived, you had that sense of dread. You always had the sense of dread, but with children involved, then it had that extra part on the edge of your seat. There was a random amount of comedy in this film. It was serious for the most part, but for some strange reason it just cut itself onto these comedy scenes. And as much as I enjoyed the kills in those scenes, for example the paintball scene, it was just a little bit strange and random. And that's one thing I found I had a bit of an issue with this movie, was there was too many random characters. Yeah, we do like to see random characters just killed off in these films, but I think there was a little bit too many in this one. But again, it didn't take away anything from the kills, because the kills were great, but I just found there was too many characters that were just so random. I think the finale was both scary and pretty epic as well for a Jason movie. Now this movie, to me, it felt like a little bit ahead of its time. The ending overall was great. You had a lot of tense action, and then finally Jason was taken care of and he was put into the water and held down. I just think it was an epic moment in the Fridays franchise. Overall, I think this was the first movie in the franchise where I didn't really look away. I didn't get bored at all. The movie constantly kept me watching and constantly kept me on the edge of my seat, and I think that was great for a Friday movie. And again, it was a refreshing and solid entry to the franchise. What do you think of this movie, guys? A lot of people have this at the top of the Friday franchise list. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.